Peace.
Peace.
This is Joshua Miller Law, Mr. PhD. You're just now entering the cipher called Real2real360. KYs.
Peace, God.
Bring that beat in, kid.
Indeed.
Peace.
Yeah. What's going on, party people? Welcome to the Real2real360 show. Let's get it in.
We do the knowledge and wisdom so you can understand. Real360 shows in full command. We changing the game for how it all was taught. From bondage to freedom to an independent thought. Yo, the show is here to bring about a change for real. To lighten everyone so we all know the deal. 360 degrees is a fact. We created the show to give our love back to our communities so we can know what's going on and give them the support from knowledge to born. So if you're ready to learn, then it's time to go. Sit back and relax and enjoy your show. Peace.
Peace to Allah's mighty 5% nation of gods and earth. To all the human families of the planet Earth, I salute with a peace. This is DJ KYs, a.k.a. Kato the Black Superhero. Welcome you to a special edition of an episode of the Real2real360. I ain't going to go no further. We just going to jump right into it. Me and my big brother in God about to go ham one-on-one. So I'm just going to bring them on without a doubt. Everybody, please welcome my co-host with the most. I'm still waiting on my 5, man, but we're going to talk about that later. All right? Ladies and gentlemen, Joshua Miller, a.k.a. Mr. PhD. Let me give him a round of applause. Peace to the God.
Peace, God. Peace, God. Yo, I tell you, it's crazy. Peace. T, the mixologist. Peace, how you doing? I want to start off by saying thank you to all our followers and listeners, those who have been subscribing, those who are actually, you know what I'm saying, trying to invest in our business and in this podcast and keeping this podcast going. I want to say thank you to Marcy Brondo, also aka Sparkle. I want to thank T the mixologist for sharing and always showing us love on here. And also, too, I want to shout out all the other podcasts that are going on right now because, you know what I'm saying, there is like no competition. It's enough for everybody to eat, whatever the case may be. So it's always love from us to them. Want to say, you know, shout out to Bars and Hoops. You know what I'm saying? They radio show out there, you know what I'm saying, Tiny and Big Shy, you know what I'm saying? They got it going on out there in Long Island. You know what I mean? They done turned that radio station into something major right now. Yeah, so, you know what I mean? And then they got, you know what I'm saying, Teacher Ate a Lot doing their promotions. You know what I mean? So it's definitely something major that's going on over there. So we want to salute them off the top. But today we're just gonna kick it today. Been thinking about a lot of the past shows and a lot of the shows that we have coming up. And a lot of the current events that we have, like May Peace Be Upon PNB Rock, learning how to maneuver in different areas. You know what I'm saying? We got to be mindful of how we move, what we do, you know what I mean? Because everybody that's smiling in your face ain't got love for you. You know what I'm saying? So we want to, you know what I'm saying, say that. But in the state and affairs of today's hip hop, we're losing a lot of these young rappers, these young cats that's trying to be successful. The only difference is, like, I see back in the day when cats was trying to MC, they was trying to get out the hood. A lot of these cats is trying to get into the hood. You know what I mean? So that's causing a lot of individuals to lose their life. You know what I'm saying? As Dave Chappelle said, keeping it real is going wrong. You know what I mean? Individuals are losing their lives and being hit in situations where they shouldn't be. You know what I mean? It don't take a tough guy, you know what I'm saying, to put yourself in a better position. You know what I'm saying? Because when you get on that mic, when you get that record deal, the key is to take care of your family. And a lot of them hasn't had that opportunity because they still want to be that NIGGA or that cat on the block or that hood dude. You know what I mean? We have to look further than that. We have to start expanding the mind. That's why we have to get back to a lot of individuals not realizing we have to get back to knowledge in the music. You know what I'm saying? And only way we could change the dynamic and the culture of everything that's going on if we make a stand and start pushing. See, we allow things to happen. You know what I'm saying? We allow things to happen without making a cause and effect. We just allow things to happen. So we can change things if we stand up and be like, yo, I don't want to hear that shit on the radio. I don't want to hear that on the radio. You know what I'm saying? And this dumbed down special ed music that they're playing is really killing them. You know what I mean? We grew up with drug dealers. They growing up with dope fiends. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, or we growing up, we used to respect the shooter, not the one that got shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, things have definitely changed, you know. So, but what's your take on that, Lord?
Yeah, well, first of all, like I said, peace to man, woman, and child. And this is an opportunity for each and every one of our fans, followers, and supporters to also chime in, because this is a segment where we're building, the builders are building. And what we're building about is everyday life, which we try to bring to you in our shows all the time and everything. So if while we're communicating, you by all means you can hit us up 336-807-9299, or you can make your comments right here while you're listening to us, and we'll answer you as best possible. This is the God's hour. You know what I mean? We're gonna take this right like it is, right and exact. And how I feel about the industry, man. You know, again, everybody has their own individual thought and purpose and mindset, but we have to be conscious. We have to be lyrically conscious. We have to be spiritually conscious. You got to have everything up here. You got to be educated right here, because a lot of the brothers and sisters that are out there now in some of these industries may have a college education or high school education, but they don't have the true knowledge of themselves about what they putting out, because they're only putting out what they've been fed that's going to make them shine above and beyond. But what is the above and beyond that they really looking for? What is the true meaning of the success in the individuals today of today's music? I know back in the days when we was growing up, it was all about the consciousness, the awakening, you know, awakening the sleeping giant. You know what I mean? That was the best reward, was to wake up from the hell that we was living in right here in the wilderness of North America. A lot of MCs was bringing us to the forefront, enlightenment of things. We had Public Enemy fighting the power from day one, trying to elevate the thoughts of the true consciousness of the black man, woman, and child in America, to unite. You know, we had the Brand Nubians, we had Rakim, we still got them. We still have these individuals, but of course, we realize that the powers that be who control the airwaves and all radio stations, you know, try to dumb down, and hear what I say, dumb down the truth and raise up negativity, or should I say the ill-forgottenness of music, you know, to twist it, to put a signal of disparity into one's mind. You know what I'm saying? So we have to change that narrative and bring it back to the truth and enlightenment. You know what I mean? So I see somebody made a comment there.
Yeah.
So
he doesn't even listen to the music of his town. He plays a lot of the music that we grew up with. That's what's up.
Absolutely.
Right
there. Absolutely.
Yo, good evening. Peace to all.
Peace be upon you to all. And
just chiming in right now.
Right. Peace and love to everybody chiming. We thank you again. Listen, this show is ours, but it's also yours. That's why it's Real2real360. We want you all to comment and join in. Peace
to the gods. Peace, God.
Absolute. So that's how I feel about the music, man, because you know what we do. I mean, I'll be in the lab almost all the time doing what we doing. I let you hear the little samples and things that I be doing. It's all about positivity. If I can write something or even make the beats to it, and somebody else feels they got a good consciousness about it, I'm all for it. It's called working together. It's called networking. It's called building. This is what we do. The builders build all the way from here to wherever. You know what I mean? So
I tell you,
it's crazy.
It's crazy because for a lot of times, like, individuals, they put out this crazy hip hop or whatever they call it, because every genre have different forms of hip hop. Like when we was growing up, we had the party joints, we had the conscious, and then you know what I'm saying, the jazz and mataz. You had different elements of hip hop. Now they got this thing called drill music, mumble rap, and a bunch of other stuff. But all the things that they have and that these children and these people are listening to, you know what I'm saying, is dumbing them down mentally, like you were saying. But when we was growing up, it was also a difference. You got to realize that media plays a big part in everything that we do in our life, because if you ever traveled anywhere in North America, the music never seems like it changes, because every area is known for their own certain kind of music. Like you go through DC, DC is go-go. You know you're going to hear some go-go. You go through B-More, you're going to hear some house. You know what I'm saying? And you come up through New York and New Jersey, you're going to hear the hip hop, you're going to hear the reggae, you're going to know exactly where you are. Nowadays, all the radio stations are syndicated and they are bought by Viacom, so they all are playing the same music going back and forth. So as an adult, it's hard to find a place on a radio station where the music fits me. So I have to like either listen to Spotify, or we have to listen to Sirius XM, or we have to listen to Bars and Hoops, or we have to listen to other forms of internet radio to get the music that we grew up with, that we love. You understand what I'm saying? That's the hard thing, because if I remember when I was doing security in nightclubs, dude was like 6'3", doing the freaking stinky leg. Like he was bent over, his leg was way across the damn room, his ass was scooted up in the air, right? Yeah. And I'm sitting there going, these are the dances that the kids do. You know what I'm saying? Back in the days when our parents was dancing, they were doing the hustle, the bus stop, and these other dances. We was doing the Alf, Running Man, the WAP, you know what I'm saying, the Mike Tyson. We had our own dances because we had our own music. They had their music. They would have WBLS and even 98.7 Kiss. And then we would have like an hour or so, you know what I'm saying, on these both radio stations to hear hip hop. Or you had, like when we were growing up, you had WBAU, which was a college radio station. That's you know what I'm saying? And then you also had the radio station, and that's right, Cabbage Patch. And then you also had the radio station that the Supreme team was on, you know what I'm saying, out in the city.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? They were bringing hip hop, but that would always be on the late night. So we had the pirate radio stations that were our own music. Now your music is your child's music. When you go to the club, I don't care if the club say, you know what I'm saying, it's 25 and up or 30 and up, they're still playing the same music in that club that an 18 and up club is playing. You know what I mean? So at any given time, they're trying to put us all in a situation where our mentality is the same. So media is controlling what we see, what we hear, and different narratives. Remember back when Flint had the situation with the water, and for those who don't know, Flint water is still fucked up.
Still messed up.
You know what I'm saying? It's still messed up, and nobody is saying anything about it because it's not being seen and heard on social media. It's not being broadcast on the news. It's not being played on the radio. But when it was being played on the radio, when it was being played all on social media and everything else, everybody was in the uproar. You know what I'm saying? As soon as they realized that people was in the uproar, they cut it. Now you don't get a chance to see what's going on with them out there, but they're still suffering. You know what I mean? They're still suffering. You know, so we look back and even like the conversations we have with our guests when they come on. You know, we don't have I don't like having frivolous conversations. You know what I'm saying? People like to talk to hear themselves talk. I don't want to hear that. If we're not talking about things that is going to progress us or put us in a situation where we become better individuals, because that's how you become successful.
Absolutely.
You talk to a successful individual, his conversation is how to become more successful. You talk to a conscious individual, he's going to talk to you about awakening moments. You know what I'm saying? And these are the things that we need to discuss. How can we change the narrative? How can we stop the recidivism for our juveniles? How can we change and reverse the polarity of the things that we're seeing in our country? Because right now we're dealing with a murderous culture, murder culture. You know what I'm saying? And of course not. You cannot rely on media to be your only form to inform you.
That's right.
And that is the thing that always people don't understand. It keeps you blind, deaf, and dumb because they play with your emotions. You know what I mean? And they know that if they show you something, they show you riots, they show you individuals getting shot, they show you individuals getting killed. All these things, they play a part in your emotions. So they play this emotion game.
Mm-hmm.
They'll show you an individual getting shot. But then we're sitting in the uproar trying to figure out, so what's going to happen? Nothing happened.
We got to comment too, God. Parents need to be parents and not friends. That's coming from the Queen Nadia. That's peace. You know what I mean? It goes back to what you and I talked about before, but you said it best in the early stages when we first started.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about the streets. It's the people that has to change the streets.
Mm-hmm.
The people. The real news is going to be from the real people who's going to tell it like it is instead of those who are programmed and made to makeshift to say things that really isn't about what's real. Like, you know, they'll always want to promote negativity. Very rarely. There used to be a news show back in the days that used to do nothing but promote good news, and it was called the Good News television show.
Right.
That show didn't make it past maybe a full season or 2 seasons.
Right.
Why? Because the drama outweighed the goodness. People want to see, or is it for some reason they want bloodshed versus harmony. Whenever you talk about unifying and coming together as one, we always know the devil's in the midst to conquer and divide, or divide and conquer. That is the nature of the beast.
Right.
And we see this every day in everyday lives, in all aspects. You understand what I'm saying? So the best show that I think we had thus far in dealing with the consciousness, and I give him big props again, our big brother, Professor Griff. When we had him on, you know what I'm saying? And I would love to get the God back on too, man. He enlightened us in every way possible, like he did when we was young back in the days, and you know, with the Velt and the Port, you know, and he still stands razor sharp. He's still going on with it, and he's still being ridiculed and looked upon as you know, public enemy number one for all the wrong reasons, but he's doing it for the right reasons. But you won't see or hear him get much airplay like he should and he deserves in waking up consciousness. But you have a whole bunch of negative media moguls who are out there to do nothing but cause chaos, confusion, and crap.
Right.
You know, and when we speak out upon these things like that, we're looked at as a lesser being. You know, we don't want, you know, now we're gonna get all the acts of people coming against us, which we already witnessed and had because of the positivity we've been doing. You know what I'm saying? So, and we know how to handle that easy. That's nothing. That's a dime in the bucket.
Right. You know, just like Dr. Harris made a comment, said media type plays on your mental health too. And folks wonder why they're anxious. You know what I'm saying? I'm guilty of it because I watch the news a lot, but have to phase out, you know what I'm saying, the good and the bad.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So you have to think about a lot of times, like when you're playing with a person's emotions, you're playing with their mental, right? And as righteous individuals, as 5%ers, you know what I'm saying, we always talk about the triple stages of darkness. The triple stages of darkness is being mentally blind, deaf, and dumb. And we are supposed to shine light on every situation so we can alleviate them being in these triple stages of darkness. And individuals are getting to the point now where they're being fearful to go in neighborhoods or being fearful of their own children because they claiming that they don't know how to deal with their own child. Now, you created this child. That child's mentality is part of your mentality. What your child is doing and your child is saying, he's learned from you initially because you're the foundation. You're the foundation. So if you're teaching righteousness, you know what I'm saying, you will see it. Just like we always talk about, if you want to know if an individual is teaching righteousness in his home, you don't ask him, you don't build with him. You sit back and you do the knowledge to his woman and babies because they're a reflection of what he's teaching. If he's not teaching knowledge of self in the home, you know what I'm saying, then you'll see it. Just like we always talk about, if you want to know if an individual is teaching righteousness in his home, you don't ask him, you don't build with him. You sit back and you do the knowledge to his woman and babies because they're a reflection of what he's teaching. If he's not teaching knowledge of self in the home, you'll see it. It'll be exposed right then and there. So we look at and we blame this generation, but we never take the accountability of the parts that we played with the destruction of what's going on with our children.
Yeah.
You think about it.
How can we have that understanding of the future if we don't look and examine the true living meaning of the past? You know?
And see, people don't think about when we were all standing on the corner, we was all hustling, we was all doing whatever we were doing at that point in time, right? We were teaching the generation that's coming up behind us the negativity. We was promoting drug selling, we was promoting drinking and cursing and violence and all these things. We were promoting it like it was a badge of honor. You know what I mean? So when it comes down to it, we have to realize like we put that energy out there. Yeah, we have to correct that, and we have to correct that error because we taught them how to do, as they said, you know what I'm saying? He taught them how to do this devilishment. We taught them how to do that devilishment.
And you know what's funny? When you say that, because it even goes back, I think about it. Well, where did we get it from? Because when we look back as young seeds, how what we watched, like my era from the 70s on, was the age of the pimps, prostitutes, and you know, the drug dealers then back then too. So the street hustler was the grand affair. Right. You know what I'm saying? But yet on the other side of the fence, we had great leaders in the 70s, Elijah Muhammad with the Nation of Islam. We had encouraging brothers out there speaking. The Black Panther Party still was going on under other different names and guises. So we did have the positive, but it looked like the negative outweighed the positive during certain times and structures from where you happen to be at. You know, so it's always a fight. It seems like no matter what, it's always going to be a fight between right or wrong, good and evil in every dimension of time that we come across. And it's up to us when we realize the mistakes that we've made and choose no longer to keep making a mistake, because every time when you make one mistake, it's unknown, it's okay because you learn from it. Now, if you continue to do that mistake over and over again, it's no longer a mistake. It is a habit. It is a habit form that you know is right or that you know is wrong when you do it. And how do you break the norm? You got to break that cycle. Right. In some way, shape, form, or fashion, we had to break the cycle. You know, God, break that cycle. Knowledge of self broke the cycle for self. So, you know, each one got to teach one in the same.
I tell you, to me, whereas we don't realize that we manifest a house full of dysfunction. We born children in a home of dysfunction. Absolutely. And that's from the very beginning. You know, dissatisfaction starts in the womb. Yep. It starts in the womb. It don't start. Peace. And thanks, my cousin Greg. Absolutely. We think about when the child is walking around and doing this, that, and the third, but not realizing the thoughts and the things that the woman is going through during the pregnancy plays a part on a child's growth and development, just as well as anything else. So when a woman is going through, a man and woman are going through, then you think for one instant that doesn't affect the child, because if you ever dealt with a woman with pregnancy, they always talk about the stress levels. Absolutely. Those stress levels, you know what I'm saying, affects the child. You know what I'm saying? So we have to be mindful a lot of times of the energy that we put out there. But again, we still have to address what we're putting out far as being on the corners. Like we never looked at the working man like he was a great dude or a role model or a mentor or anything like that, because we always looked at money. We allowed money to become our God and be able to direct the things that we're dealing with, instead of understanding, you know what I'm saying, that money has no power. That's right. Materials have no power. So once you realize these things, you know what I'm saying, at that point in time, then and only then can you be successful. Because if you ever look at a person can have a job making $250,000, $300,000 and they're living check to check. A person that's bringing home $400 or $500 a week is flying to Jamaica. They going to Barbados. They going to Puerto Rico. They doing all these different things because they understand the science of financial literacy. when you start dealing with that, those are the things that you teach your child. You know what I'm saying? People always talk about, I'm going to give my child something I never had. If you think back to your whole childhood, you got everything you always wanted. You might not have got it at that same time. You know what I'm saying? And that right there is an issue. Indeed, segregation, I ain't gonna say it took the working man out. What took the working man out is when they realized in 1970 that you could take the working man out because you're going to take away the factory jobs. And then you're going to have the woman to go down there and get on welfare. When you take that woman down there to get on welfare, they're going to tell you, yes, we're going to feed you. Yes, we're going to clothe you. Yes, we're going to put you in shelter. But you cannot have that man there, because if that man is there, then he is supposed to take care of you. If you take away the jobs, he can't take care of you. So this is part of the reason why there is a division, because at that point in time, the government becomes the father to your child. It's not like, you know what I'm saying, they take the man out the home, and the next thing you know, the government is taking care of all the things that the man is supposed to take care of. Then you're talking about putting the man on child support. Okay, if he could not perform as a, you know what I'm saying, as a provider when he was in the home, when you put him on child support, what makes you think for one instant that he can provide then? So you're taking more and more away from him, and now he has an attitude against the mother, you know what I'm saying, because she put him on child support and put him in more debt. Right. Now the government is getting even more devious, whereas you can get incarcerated and be on probation for child support. These are the things that played a part in separating, taking the man away from the child.
And not only that, during that time within the welfare farewell system, they induced the fact of making sure that a black woman has more children in order to stay on the program. But here's the thing now. Now, in this day and time, they're realizing that the numbers or statistical numbers of the people who are on welfare and people of color, black, brown, mainly, in the multitudes, now came into the reverse psychology of Planned Parenthood to destroy the family from even creating and making more children on this universe. They came up with that to destroy the what? To control not the whole population, but a certain population, to order to make things right in their eyes. You see what I'm saying? So they keep coming up with different ways, because if you look in our neighborhoods, we got a church, liquor store, abortion clinic somewhere right near. But if you go into the other neighborhoods where they have you don't have none of that there. They got to travel 15, 20 minutes to go to a good, or the grocery stores is right there enough where they call and they got their groceries coming in and all that. We don't have it like that.
No, but what they have in their community are sperm banks and fertility clinics. That's what they have in their neighborhoods. What they put in our neighborhoods are abortion clinics. And you look at the narrative. Why would you have a abortion clinic in the black and brown, you know what I'm saying, impoverished neighborhoods? Because you want to already destroy the race. You want them to kill off themselves. And in New York State, at one point in time, abortions was free.
Right.
Abortions was free.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So if you're allowing people to abort their children for free, what message is that sending? But then also too, again, we have to think about the messages. You know what I'm saying? We have these dialogues, we have these conversations, and some of the greatest problems that we have as an individual in this nation, far as black and brown is concerned, we allow them to divide us. They allow, you know what I'm saying, we allowed them to make them think that we were all different. You know what I'm saying? And that taught us in our lessons. Why do you call our people Africans? So, you know what I mean? So when you start looking at things and saying we allow finances to make us, you know what I'm saying, feel like we're separate from individuals. We allow education. We allow, you know what I'm saying, social status. You know what I'm saying? Peace, Bishop.
Peace, Bishop. Peace, God.
We allow all these different things to separate and divide us. And then the very minute that we want to come together, you always have that one individual like, yo, he from on the other side of the track, or he from over here. Well, we can't really rock with you because of this, that, and the third. I have conversations with individuals all the time. And the very thing that the first issue that a lot of individuals come up with is a religious thing. You know what I mean? And when you talk about the religious part of it, that's the thing that's going to always keep you separated. When you have a goal and determined idea, it'll be something different.
God, let's look at this right here, and I want you to comment, and I'm gonna comment also on that.
Which
It says, I'm not a parent, but working in higher ed. I'm not a fan of enabling kids, giving 5-year-old iPhones and paying everything for an 18-year-old. Kids expect everything and work for nothing.
That's this generation here that you know, peace to the God Latis. That's this generation here where they have a sense of entitlement. When we was growing up, we had to earn everything. We had allowances, we had chores. We went out, you know, so individuals went out and cut grass. Individuals went to gals and was bagging, you know, so helping carry groceries to the car. Peace. Carrying groceries to the car. When it snowed, you saw the streets were filled with the youth, you know what I'm saying, with socks on their hands and shovels in their hands, going into neighborhoods to shovel snow so they can get money. Nowadays, when it snows, or if you're looking for one of these kids to come cut your grass, they're not cutting no grass, they're not shoveling no snow, they're not even leaving out the house. So we have a sense of entitlement because we allowed them to have that sense of entitlement. We don't push them. We don't make them. We don't put them in a situation where you have to do for yourself. And then when you want to wait till they get 15, 16 years old to try to make them do something, that's when the pushback gonna come in. You know what I'm saying? Because all of a sudden you don't love me. You this, that, and the third. They become very sensitive and emotional. You know what I'm saying? Because it's something that was not implemented from the very beginning. You have to remember, you set a tone when a child is young. There's reasons why, you know what I'm saying, they put your child in school at the very like toddler age, because their brains are like sponge. You start teaching them from a young age. You know what I'm saying? So when you're teaching them from a young age, they learn culture. They learn habits. They learn how to deal with things. You know what I'm saying? Peace. And that's something that, you know, the sense of entitlement.
Absolutely. And then another thing is they're fearful. Again, parents are fearful of their own child in certain cases. You know, and then look at the narrative of also what's going on in society. Society is, if you don't have it, you're not in. And the first thing children want is the technological things. And most parents today, and I can't say all, but most parents that I've come across, in order to feel that they got to have their own me time, the first thing they do, instead of sending the child out to go play hopscotch, double dutch, learn how to play the street games like we used to do, what they do, buy you a PlayStation 2 and Nintendo and all these things, let you sit in the room and become mind controlled on an electronic thing instead of getting out there and knowing how to communicate with your own people. But everybody now, we sit home. I got people now that sit home, turn on their TV, put their headphones on, and they playing Mortal Kombat or what's that new thing, Halo, and all things of destruction. All things of destruction. Look at what's being shown as if it's the norm. Remember what came out popular, that real popular game, where it was like it's trying to make it seem like it was an LA thing. Where the
Grand Theft Auto, GTA.
Grand Theft Auto, all them joints. You know what I'm saying? Everything promote. I mean, look how they developed these things for so long. Prostitution, cussing, all kinds of stuff's being shown on things, you know, total violence. And it's okay, but where they showing it at? They showing it in the hoods. They showing it in the commercials. And the kids are saying, Mom, can I have that? Dad, can I get that? I need that in my life. No, you don't. You don't need that. The real parents should tell you don't need nothing like that. What you need is a book.
I tell you what's funny. Like, I'm looking at the comment, and we didn't have anything. Like we come from an area, you know what I'm saying? A lot of us, I would say, didn't have anything. But you couldn't tell who was poor and who wasn't. You understand what I'm saying? You couldn't tell who was going through the struggle and who didn't. But because we got out and we earned it. I remember individuals at 14 years old going to get their working papers, their working cards, and things of that nature, right? So you set the tone. The reason why parents are afraid of their children when they become teenagers is because there was no discipline and structure from the very beginning.
Very beginning.
That sense of entitlement that very sense of entitlement that we talk about, we the one gave it to them. And then as an adult, we used to say when we get 18 years old, I'm going to find me a place. I'm going to get me a job. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. The reason why we were able to say things like that because our parents had prepared us for the world.
That's right.
We have most individuals when you talk to them, they tell you when they got their first job. You know what I'm saying? And how they helped bought their first car, how they was buying their school clothes, how all these things were playing a part. You ask any one of these kids nowadays, when was the first time they got their job?
Mm-hmm.
The first job they ever had, they didn't get until after they got out of high school or got out of college. You know what I'm saying? So they don't know anything about being a work ethic and how to deal with individuals. You know what I mean? Have in their own social equality. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. See that, right?
Yeah, definitely. You know, you can always speak to that. I remember cats used to have summer jobs at Jones Beach and all this other stuff. So nowadays, you can't get a child to go out there in the summer and do no application for no job. And even with that, you know what I'm saying? When individuals was having these little gigs like at Burger King and Merrick and Wendy's and McDonald's and all these different places in Pathmark and Baldwin, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They were kicking in.
Man, we were doing newspapers for the Daily News and,
right.
and the penny savers. I remember y'all getting up there early in the morning with my brothers, man, wrapping up the papers and taking them out and throwing them out. That was work. You know, when I was like 11, 12, doing that stuff with them. You know what I'm saying? So it taught you a work ethic, something to look forward to. You know,
but
now
we don't
have that now.
But now what you have is, you know what I'm saying? Didn't you get paid today? That's the thing that kids say, didn't you get paid today? And they don't understand, like, when you dealing with the youth, they have to know what dollars and cents mean. You know what I'm saying? With the value of a dollar. You know what I'm saying? You have to, the dollar don't give you power, but you have to know the value of it. Because you have to understand bills, a lifestyle, your culture, and all these different things. You know what I mean? You cannot sit up there and just accept, you know what I'm saying? You know, these sneakers, like them Yeezys is like $300-$400. Them like the ugliest shits in North America.
I ain't never seen some shoes so bad ugly, man.
Right, Latif, like bagging groceries and
absolutely,
you know what I'm saying, and raking leaves and all these different things.
Going to Pathmark and help stocking in there.
Going to Pathmark, you know what I'm saying, doing things to have money in your pocket. You know what I'm saying? It's been many times like you go to different little stores in Tri-County out there in Levittown. You will see individuals you grew up with that's working, got part-time jobs. You're like, yo, how you get out here? How you this, that, and the third? Individuals was able to get on the bus and navigate themselves through the community and get to a job. Now, if the child got a job, they're waiting on you to take them to work.
Yep.
If you don't take them, they ain't going.
Yep.
And then they're gonna speed, you know what I'm saying, run their mouth. I don't come from that era where, you know what I'm saying, I could talk back or I can say what I wanted to, because it was already a tone set from when I was a child. And I go back to this, and I will always say this, when you wait till your child become 14, 15 years old to try to implement any form of discipline, you waited too long.
Well, you see, that goes back into the Reaganomics era, when Nancy Reagan came out with the 1-800 child abuse, along with the 1-800 drug thing.
Mm-hmm.
She came out with that thing telling about childs can call in on their parents for child abuse and all the stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
In our society, they took it to the extreme because we know that a good ass whooping would be considered child abuse, but there was a lesson and reason behind that. You know, my dad was quick to say, I'm gonna beat you because such. And while he's whipping my behind, he's still telling me what I did and all this and that. You know,
he's talking to you. He's talking to you.
It taught me not to do it again. You know what I'm saying? Now it's just a whole change, man. The laws have changed to protect certain things, that take away the good structure of what was in the household. When you took away the fathers, you took away a strong, solid foundation of discipline. You took a strong way of tough love, and now the mothers have to fulfill certain shoes. They can never be the man, but they have to take man steps in order to, because, especially like my mom's, we had 5 boys. You know what I'm saying? So my mom's was Mike Tyson before Mike Tyson. So we knew not to mess with Mom Dukes. You know what I'm saying? But it was always love. The love was always taught, and discipline in the house was always there. So we knew that as we got older, we knew things that, I knew how to cook and clean, sew, and all that before I even reached my teens. So I knew that as a grown man, being on my own, if I wasn't with a helpmate, I know what I had to do to survive and maintain myself. You understand what I'm saying? And at the same time, if I did have a helpmate that would do the other things that, what wisdom's supposed to do, but if she falls ill, I can take care and manifest and maintain her as well.
See, the science, even with that, it's like when you grow up in single parent households, like a lot of us did, the community embraced the child in the community. You understand what I mean? They didn't just, we didn't come up from the era where as a child, you couldn't say nothing to a child. You know what I'm saying? We came up in an era that when you see adults, you know what I'm saying, or somebody parent walking, you know what I'm saying, you wasn't cursing. You done slid that pays Shabazz. You put that beer down to the side, you hiding that. You know what I'm saying? You hiding that. I remember like a lot of times we be sitting there smoking, drinking, talking real reckless outside. Somebody parent comes, you trying to slide that cigarette down where you could step on it and move that beer out the way, your dialogue changed. Now, when you see individuals or individuals see you coming and you being an adult, these kids ain't changing nothing. They blowing their bud, they smoking a cigarette, they drinking their liquor, they talking crazy. And you got to be mindful that if they not saying nothing to you, you know what I'm saying? Because they feel like, they're invincible. But trust and know, our ass whooping hurt 7 days a week now.
You go back in the day, man, it was always true to this. Number one, I remember once, from when my parents left from Brooklyn to Queens, and the discipline was they could go out, do their job, go to work. Our neighbor, we outside cutting it up or doing something stupid. Our next door neighbors saw it and they whooped our behinds. They chastised us and you know what? You know better than doing this and that, because they looked at us as their child. And so when we got disciplined by them, by the time my parents got home, they told the parents what they happened did, and then guess what? We got it from the parents the same way. Like, why are we getting it twice? Yo, it takes a village to raise a boy. You know what I mean? So I appreciate those ass whoopings. I appreciate those talks from a lot of other people that in the midst of my parents being not absent or working and stuff like that, we had the elder people to give us wise words and counsel. Even sometimes who we used to tease the neighborhood drunk had wise words to say on certain things. And we took that and we ate the food. You know what I mean?
Right.
And we got a lot. I'm loving all this, people. We loving this.
Loving this energy right here today. Definitely loving this energy today. Appreciate everybody tuning in.
Absolutely.
Also, like I remember like coming up in the neighborhood we grew up in, you know what I'm saying? We had so much of a unity in the neighborhood that even like my partners, like we all young bucks or whatever, we all was unified. You know what I'm saying? Cato, all of us was always together every day, some way, shape, form, or fashion. And our neighborhood was safe. You understand what I mean? Like our neighborhood was safe because we set a tone. It wasn't like nobody was trying to be no tough guy. Wasn't none of that. Just things were not going to go down over here. You know what I'm saying? And that was given to us by our parents.
Yep.
When you walked in people's houses, that wasn't your friend. That was family to you. You know what I'm saying? How many times have you broke bread or laid your head at your man's crib? You know what I mean? And his moms took care of you, looked out for you, this, that, and the third. You know what I mean?
Let's see them. I haven't hugged my seeds in over a year. Speak to them daily and send money and gifts monthly. However, I'm not labeled as a good father because I don't want mother. Now I have to deal with the devil to have rights to children It takes every dime I have to sustain my universe. Is there any free legal service that they all may know to assist with this wickedness? I changed my life to help these seeds. I clearly built a life that surpasses hers and still have to give all my money for it. Well, look here, my brother. You ain't the only one. Trust and believe that been down that road. Some of us are still going through that, and we got adult children. You know what I mean? The thing is, you doing what you doing by all means necessary, the best of your set ability. Don't ever look down on yourself, because you are still who you are first and foremost. You're gonna live your life, live it to the best. Do what you do by way of your children to the best of your set ability, not for what everybody else says. As far as the legal issues, by all means, try not to go down the road of all legal issues unless the legal satisfies what you have to do is right and exact. Get all different opinions. Don't just go to one source. Get all different opinions. But the best knowledge and resources coming from the knowledge of self. When you do what you do right, can't nobody tell you what's wrong. You understand what I'm saying? Love your kids. Continue to love your kids, man. And do what you got to do what's right and exact. Peace. Thanks for the comment.
Peace. Yeah, like a lot of comments is, we always know that they say the devil controls things or what have you, right? The reality of it is we allow the devil to control. We allow the devil to rule. You know what I'm saying? We gave them grace. But the devil that's actually controlling and ruling is the mentality. And today's show is about reversing the polarity of our children's mind and planting a seed of peace and positivity. Mm-hmm. Peace, Aquila, peace, Queen Unique. You know what I mean? We can't see a lot of names because it's on their Facebook user.
Yeah. I want to address that, just what you just said. We're going to go back to this right here. The comment said, peace, God, just go through the court with joint custody. That's just what we just talking about. Going to somebody else to give control over what you really could have control over. That's the problem that we face within this society today. That's the problem we've been facing with ever since we were brought here over on the wilderness of North America. They control our every action and movement. Who can see who can date who can have children by this one, who has to pay this. If you really want to build, sit down and have an intelligent conversation with your wisdom. Sit down and have an intelligent conversation with your man. If you don't work as far as the couple, then the best thing to do is be a couple apart. Be a couple apart. We got a call from Magnetic Black Allah. Peace to the God. What's the science, God? You on the air?
I see Zachary Hall, what he actually mentioned a little while ago.
Yeah.
Because I'm basically sort of going through the same exact thing with my son's mother.
Mm-hmm.
But what I actually realized, I knew this years ago, quite a few people, I didn't want to go through that, but this is what actually happens. Even though I don't like this, but I had to go through court to go through the joint custody. Mm-hmm. Regardless of how she feels, she don't like it, but she actually had to do what they are actually saying.
Right.
Because if it was the other way around, that's exactly what I have to do. So, even though I text him to tell him that, but I actually want him to hear this as well too, because I know for a fact I could not be the only person. And also, when you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, continually keep doing that. No matter what, man.
Yep.
And if you know the person that you are, the true and living person,
mm-hmm.
continue to keep doing what you're doing, man. That's a civilized person does things like that, and this is your duty, regardless of how she feels.
That's right.
Whatever she's saying.
That's
I just
good.
wanted to get on and mention about that, man, so you can hear that as well, too.
Well, we appreciate that, bro.
As well, too.
All right, God. We appreciate you with your comment and well heard, well deserved, well said, man. Peace.
Yo, God, the real science is this, right? When we first got knowledge of self, when we first became righteous, we always talk about was the mind before the body. So that alleviated the lust over love. But then individuals advocated, mind over body. But the reality is they put the mind before the body. So that put the two before the one. Mm-hmm. So when you think about it, individuals lusted and they never got an opportunity to really understand or know the individual that they're having children with. People put out a representative and will sit there and manifest some things, whatever it takes, you know what I'm saying, to get you into a situation, you know what I'm saying, and deal with. You have to always understand, like, lust and love is 4 letters, but there's 2 different sciences when it comes down to it.
We got another call on the line, God. Mm-hmm. Peace. This is DJ KY's. You on Real to Real 360 with Josh Melala and Self. Caller, who you are. State your name. Where you from?
Peace. Can you hear me? This Bishme.
Peace, God. It's God Bishme, brother Bishme. Peace, God.
Y'all can hear me?
White
yeah,
God,
we hear you.
All right, listen. I got to comment on that brother that made that comment about something with the seeds and the reds and all that type of stuff.
All right.
All right.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna make it quick. I'm still at work. Just do the knowledge. Let him know. Listen, I have 2 seeds. They're teenagers right now. My son is older and my daughter is younger. Mm-hmm. All right. I went through the same situation dealing with the kid's mother as far as, taking care of him. So to make it simple and sweet with him, this is what I did. I didn't waste no time because I know how people get. I took her to court first. I got joint custody of my kids. And also, because I was married in my decree, I got joint custody. I was married, and I also had it written up, whereas until the kids graduate college, you see what I'm trying to say? Mm-hmm. Me and her had to do everything 50-50. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm trying to say? With the seeds. So I didn't have to, and once I did that, I didn't have to deal with no issues, no problems, nothing at all to this very day. And as far as the seeds was concerned, I'm different. I let her know and the courts know I'm gonna always be there for my seeds. I'm gonna always be in their life because that's our creation. You see what I'm trying to say? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So I did what I had to do to sustain, and I also build with them on a regular basis to teach them and let them know the truth. You see what I'm trying to say? I didn't hide nothing. I didn't talk negative. I just built with them and let them know, showed them my love, and taught them the truth. And that's basically it, man. It's not hard.
Absolutely. God, somebody, I guess, as a Facebook user listening to you do the knowledge and shooting your wisdom, they just shot their number across the screen. And so if you get a chance to see them, they would love for you to give them a call. This is the one and only, the God Bishme Allah. This is a very wise and intelligent man. This is our big brother right here. So you are listening to wise words, wise counseling coming from the God himself.
Yeah, definitely.
Take the number and send it to me because I can't see the screen. I'm at work.
Okay, God. We'll make sure we get it.
We'll make sure you get it.
And I'll get back to them, all right?
Absolutely.
All right.
I'm gonna get back in tune with the show. Peace.
Peace, God.
Peace, God. But yeah, God, we have to get to the point where we got to stop allowing the devil to separate us. You know what I'm saying? We talk about the situation with our children. We talk about all these different things. And
let me grab a pen and get your number. Go ahead, God.
Yeah, to understand, like, all these things are manifested. If you took the time out to do the knowledge to your woman that you're with, or you took the time to do the knowledge to the man that you're with, the one that you're having children with, then, you know what I'm saying, you wouldn't be going through all these things. Understand that individuals give you a representation or a representative, and they show you what you want to see. You have a lot of individuals, and I say it, you know what I'm saying, that are devil, and they look just like you and that, because they swift with the tongue, but everything that they deal with is hard on the heart. You push, and the more and more investigation that you do about the individual you with, you'll start finding the truth. You got to realize the red flags are sitting there so you can do the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? So when you do the knowledge to the mind first and then the body, then you don't have these issues. You know what I'm saying? So we're understanding that it's 1 before 2, not 2 before 1. But again, like we're talking about in the community, like you go into your community, how many people will sit up there and can answer this question truthfully and say, if there's a negative cipher and a positive cipher, where are you supposed to be? Everybody's going to shout out, majority of individuals are going to shout out a positive cipher. Then if there's a negative cipher, how do that negative cipher change? if you don't go over there to make a change or make or do some work to cause it to become positive. You know what I'm saying? So we got to look at things for what it is, and we're coming up to the end of the show. I want everybody to understand, like, once a week, it's going to be just me and Kay kicking it, going back and forth, building just like this here, and no topic is off the table.
That's
We're
right.
just going to sit there, call in. You know what I'm saying? Callers can call in. We can build, make everything happen. You know what I'm saying? So if you have a question, if you know what I'm saying, anything of that nature, call in. We don't have an issue with that. But right now, we getting to the end of the show. Hey, yo, Kay, before we get to the end of the show,
Yeah.
I need you to play that 6 borough for me.
All right.
I need you to play that 6. Those who know what the sign says, man. That 6 borough is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Lord's Island in the building. Exit 21 11575 11520. You know how we do. You know what I mean? Definitely, this is going to be, you know what I'm saying, part of, you know what I'm saying, KY's mixtape coming out. You know what I'm saying? So,
yes, indeed. Come on, yeah. We doing. I hope the sound didn't go down.
Nah, man. You know, but ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank y'all for definitely tuning in. Make sure that you like and subscribe, and also too, you donate. You know what I'm saying, to the Cash App, so you know we can keep these shows going, keep this energy going, keep this life going. Tomorrow we have shows for the rest of the week on the 21st and 23rd. We have Vic Allen and
stay tuned for a message from the God.
Shout out to Strong Island. Peace to all the gods and earths. We've had a blast, y'all. We love it. You can keep the comments coming on. We still here. Make sure, God, whoever you are, Facebook user, put in there who you are in your email, and we'll make sure you get a copy of this show. Yes, indeed. Shout out to everybody out there on Strong Island, man, to all the cities and towns out there. We love y'all, man. It's the roots, the foundation for, man, where we just had fun growing up, doing what we do as young seeds. Now you can see how well the seed has grown and it's planted firmly, still in the roots of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, man. And Ja, I just want to say before we go, you were so right and exact about where a lot of people put the 2 before the 1, because when a man allows the 6 sex powers of a woman to overcome himself, he has no mastery within him. You have to be the master builder of yourself, and then you master your wisdom in order to make everything understood. That's the best part, being the number 1. Peace, Bishop. Absolutely.
Peace. Protons, neutrons, and electrons. Lord's Island in the building. 11575 Alice Boulevard, Hanson Place, East Fulton, Stevens Street.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. From Main Street to Nassau Road, baby. That's how we build.
That's how we build.
Everybody, listen, man. It's been great. We love all the compliments. I see one more. We're gonna run that up there real quick. While America's facts, data, and statistics knew that the discipline that the Black and brown parents administered to us was effective at keeping us in line. Also, when we were teenagers who operated away from home, we had older brothers and sisters absolutely in the community that actually cared for us. I'm appreciative to have brothers like Josh Amel, DJ K, Patrick Gilliard, and many others who followed up. They did it not because anyone paid them for it, but simply for the fact that they cared. Peace, man. Peace,
No
peace,
doubt.
peace. Absolutely.
Always love, Kato. Always love,
Indeed,
family.
indeed, man. That's what we do, man. We're not here for no monetary and escalate reward, man, because the pass on our backs is what you give with the comments like that. And that's what I love. That's how I get my reward, man. The best part is you coming in and making sure that what we doing is never taken for granted. You know what I mean? Because this is the Real 360, and we all about bringing you the truth and enlightenment to the best of our set abilities. You know what I mean? So, yo, before we go, Ja, who we got next coming up?
Vic Allen coming up on the 21st.
All right.
At 7 p.m. You know what I'm saying, 6 Central. He's one of the top Southern Soul artists. And then also too, we got Half Pint coming in from Son of Berserk.
Absolutely. Shout out to Half Pint, TA, the DJ. You know what's up,
DJ.
You know, all the Son of Berserk. Yeah. So, yo, Ja, we gonna get out of here, man. And it's been real.
It's always real.
We talked about this. We've done a couple of it, but not like this. And this is what's still going to come. So be looking on out for more of this to come, people. And we want you to comment, call in, give us everything you got. You know what I mean? Peace, Brenda Wright. Let me see you.
Peace, sis.
Exit
21 all day.
No doubt. You know. So to all our followers, fans, listeners, and supporters, like Josh said, hit that like and subscribe, donate to the Cash App, and just be a major part because, like we say, listen, I tell all our guests that's on, for everybody that made a comment, this is your home right here. You got a home right here with the Real 360. All right? So with that, Mother Nature strikes out, and we are gone. Take care of yourselves, Lord. Yo, I love you, big bro. We're going to see each other soon. We're going to do what we do. Oh, and Bishme, if you still listening, we got a surprise for you, bro. We ain't going to tell you what it is, but you'll see it for yourself soon. All right?
Hey, ain't no surprise.
Doubt,
ain't no surprise. Ain't no surprise. Ain't no surprise.
I ain't talking about that, but I'll tell you offline when we call. Oh, like I said, going back to that caller with the 713, we're going to call you after the show because we want to get your information and make sure we pass it over to the guard right and exact so there won't be no confusion or anything like that because we're here to make sure everything is right. All right. Peace and blessings.
Peace.
Peace.